Yo, what's up guys, how's it going? So today in this video I want to break down how we take an idea to a tangible product for the niche experts that we work with. So I'm going to keep this very brief. I'm going to get right into the detail, no fluff, just kind of show you the whole process from start, the first call, the first ideation to the finished product. So let's get into it. So let's start here with in terms of the first call. When we usually have a first call with someone, we really want to prospect and sort of ask them questions around what it is that they want to build. The main thing with us is we will tell you, quite frankly, if we don't think it's a good build, or we feel that maybe it's not niche enough, or maybe it will take a bunch of time and we should start with a smaller MVP, and just to get a really good understanding of what it is that you want to build. The good thing was in this case of the build that we did here, the person was quite a big niche figure. They understood their niche, they understood the pain points of their niche. So in terms of the validation side, everything was pretty A-okay to go. So literally what we do, we really break things down. We sort of look at what is it they want, the different tabs, the features exactly that they want. We really write this down, even the customer journey in terms of the sign up, the onboarding, like the full functionality of the app, the initial functionality that makes the most sense, just so we know in our heads exactly what it is that we're building. And right after we do this, we jump right into the mock-up stage. So this is literally me on a software where I kind of just draw out how I think the client that we're working with wants it to look. So maybe they'll have a little sidebar, they want a dashboard feature, different things they want to touch on. I'll just dump everything they've told me onto this little drawing here, almost like a whiteboard drawing. And I'll show all the different pages and how we want them to look. Very, very simple, very ugly, but at least we get first we get the idea down on paper in the first stage, and in this second stage we actually draw something visual to sort of make it slightly come to life. An almost, whiteboard prototype, so to speak, a wireframe, as we call it. So the different pages, and then the pages inside of pages, just so my designer, who comes in next, is then able to actually design it into something tangible. So another thing here that we do at this stage is where, from the back end side of things, the actual functionality of the code is where we start to draw these diagrams and really understand the logic side. So at the top here, you have the understanding of the UI, how things will look and feel. At the bottom, we have the logic, right? What is it that we want to do, right? The user wants to connect to a bank, and then what happens next? What sort of features, what tools would I need to use? These are all things that are incredibly important in the development lifecycle, right? So we get really granular with this. We break it down. The user connects to bank, we get transactions, we look at the name, we try to build the clients based on the name. We'll have a little code block showing what some data might look like, so we know how to process that data in the future, just so we know there's no surprises or no complications when it comes to us actually writing out the code. We do so much research and so much diagramming before we even write a single line of code, just to make sure that when we are ready to write the code, we're in the best position to do so. So we do this. Here's another example for a different project. We were using Amazon Web Services, so we sort of broke it down. What happens when someone presses this button, it goes to where, and then what happens, just to ensure there's no bugs essentially in the code. And also, during this whole process, this is also a good time where we project manage quite heavily. We use project management tools, I'm sure you know, Monday.com, all of those things. We use one called Linear. It's very lean, where we write out all the different steps, and we call them tickets, that the client wants in their application, right? So we go through step by step, task by task, and we just work through it slowly. To give you an example, we'll have a big task, maybe create a dashboard, a metrics dashboard, as you can see here, and then we break that down. So what does that actually mean, right? Okay, well, we need to be able to get the information to calculate those metrics, okay? Then we need to create metric cards to actually show them, okay? And then when they click a button, we need to then show that through like a little toast icon, for example. So we get really granular to exactly what it is that is required for the definition of done of the product. So as you can see, create a modal, create a roadmap, and all of these things inside of them. As you can see, this one ticket here has 7 sub tickets inside of it, just to show we really break things down. There's a huge product we are working with, a huge task, a huge project. We can't, if I just look at it as itself, it's daunting, it's scary. So we break this down into, as you can see here, 57 different parts, which all have more parts inside of them, right? And with the client, they have access to this, so they're always able to come inside, have a look, see how things are going, see what's been done, see what's being done, see what hasn't been done, see where there's an issue with something, just so they stay top of mind. We try to keep a very asynchronous communication with the client. And then so after we do the sort of writing things down on paper, and then we do the wireframing, and then we do the logic diagramming, then my designer then goes into actually designing it, the look and feel of the application, right? And this is where it gets really exciting. We use Figma for our designs. We really I mean, it's a SaaS, right? A lot of the time when you build SaaSes, essentially a lot of the time what it is, it might be something that users are using or you're doing in-house maybe, and you thought of an idea to SaaSify it to the mass population. A lot of the time these things aren't incredibly difficult to do, but what you're doing is you're providing someone a clean user experience and user interface to be able to do these things. That's what a lot of goes into SaaS. It's just that clean user experience and clean user interface. So from our perspective, making sure we nail those two things are key. So as you can see here, we've got incredibly slick design. They have the ability to hover over help icons and it explains what metric they're looking at. It's a clean dashboard, which is very responsive as well. If they're able to change the dates at which they see transactions, they're able to go to their settings page and log out. So if I just scroll down, you can see the different tabs that we had here. The ability to add another client, to change the benchmark. And as I said, the settings page, where they can also see the integrations that they've used. And even more, transactions, so they can see all the transactions that are through in their bank and, you know, tag it off to a certain client. And then the ability to look inside of a client and see, okay, from a client level, how much revenue are we making for this person? And as you can see, it's just very clean, easy to use interface. But the user is sort of wanting, right? It's none of this Google Sheet stuff where it's very foggy and misty and doesn't look nice and you have to manually update it. What we've done here for the client is essentially taken what they were doing in-house, automated it for the users that are about to use the tool in a way that it's very clean and easy to navigate through. And that's a lot of the time what SaaS is. And also what we do, we also help our client moving forward when they want to market the tool. So we do the build, we do the SaaS build, we do not hands-on. It's not done for you when it comes to the marketing. However, what we do is offer and give away all the playbooks that we have done to scale some of our own SaaSes that we have in-house. So we've got a bunch of documents that we've used, a bunch of plug and plays, you could say, and we sort of give that all away. So as you can see in this example, just simple stuff about cold outreach, how much cold outreach you want to do, the SOPs to write in those cold outreaches, if you want to leverage short form, direct copy, and just really going into the detail in what you should do if you're trying to sell a lifetime offer. For example, you're trying to get people to the waitlist, to grow that waitlist. Maybe you're trying to gain organic traffic to your site. You want to look at short form content, maybe even blogs, for example. There's so many ways you can market a SaaS. So yeah, so this is just a very brief, very short to the point video about how we take ideas to products for the clients that we work with. So I hope you found this valuable. I hope you found it insightful and you can kind of see the step-by-step process. And yeah, if you found it interesting, let me know. Take it easy.